Hey, what's up you guys? Marty Schwartz here, GuitarJamz.com. The website's got a ton of lessons on there that'll really help you. Beginner, intermediate, advanced, anything you need. What I'm going to do right now is I'm going to give a very beginner guitar lesson. So if you're looking for my scales and mixolydians and Dorians and Locrians and super Locrians and the demented scale and the super demented Locrian scale, this isn't the right lesson for you. It's straight beginner. So I've only got about, 400 other lessons on YouTube that you can go to. So for the beginners out there, right, the straight up beginners who have learned, let's say they've learned a couple of chords, all right, I want to talk about just some ways that you can get better with those chords. Just tips that have helped me, because I still remember what it was like when I was a beginner, and sometimes it can be a little overwhelming. It can be a little discouraging in the beginning. Just keep in mind though, once you can get the open chords more comfortably, it's like that's the hardest part, because from there you can play, the better you get with that, you can play all, a lot of your favorite songs because they all use the same things over and over. You know what I mean? So let's just, right off the bat, here's what I want to say with the open chords. I'm going to just talk about an E minor chord, an A chord, and a D chord. Those are the ones I like to teach first. So the E minor chord has the index finger on the second fret of the 1, 2, second string down. They call it the fifth string. Don't get confused by that. I'm just saying 1, 2. Second one down. It's called the A string. Index finger there. Middle finger goes down on the second fret of the D string. And you strum the whole guitar. Okay? The next chord, the A chord, is these two fingers kind of stay in the same shape, but you scoot them down a string. So now 1, 2, third string down that way, index finger on the second fret of that, middle finger on the second fret of the next string down, and then ring finger on the second fret of the next string down from there. And you strum everything except this top string right here. It sounds like this. Okay? Then the next chord is a D chord. And we're going to take our index finger, second fret of the G string, middle finger on the second fret of the high E string, the last string down that way, and then ring fingers in between them on this B string, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down on the third fret. And hopefully you can kind of avoid these top two strings and strum everything else. Okay, so those are 3 chords. I'm not really trying to teach you how to play those chords. Hopefully you've been working on them a little bit. If you haven't, you can look them up and spend some time with them. But what I want to talk about is switching the chords better. Okay, and there's some really cool tricks that that we can do to switch chords better. So one thing, if I take that D chord, one thing I think you should practice is keeping the shape of the chord with your fingers and then taking your hand off while you're still trying to keep the best to your ability the chord shape, all right, like that. Then what you do is you put it back on, and it's not going to be perfect. You're going to have to make adjustments, right? Fix whatever you need, and then strum it again. And then do it again. Take it off, try and keep the shape, and put it back on. All right? This will help your muscle memory get it going quicker. It'll help you memorize the chord quicker. Take it off, put it back on. And you do it again. Then you do it with the other chord, E minor. Keep it, put it back on. Try and keep it, and put it back on. See, these are things that will just get you there quicker. And I've had some great guitar teachers that have helped me learn this stuff, and now the secrets are yours. Same thing with the A chord, any of these chords. Keep the shape, take it off, put it on. So right away, that's going to get it going a little bit quicker. It's not going to be necessarily easy, but just remember all the groundwork that you're laying is for like the rest of your guitar playing forever, basically. You just got to get past that first little hump, and then it's smooth sailing, okay? So another thing I want to talk about is that helps you switch your chords is thinking of one finger of the chord as your like locator or your anchor to the chord. For instance, the D chord. Typically, I think of the anchor or the starting point of the chord as whatever finger is the highest up this way. So with the D chord, it's my index finger on the 2nd fret of the G string right there. Okay? Then, so besides keeping the shape, taking the shape off, and putting it back on, another thing you could do is when you're switching is use that one finger as your starting point. So I put my index finger down on the 2nd fret of this G string here. Then I let the rest of the shape take place afterwards. So I go boom. Okay, I know when I think D chord, boom, my finger right there. Then the rest go in. All right, cool. So that's another thing you can do. That's been extremely helpful when I've worked with students doing that. Like a C chord, for instance, most people, I see it when I teach guitar, when they're working on the C chord, they use their index finger on the 1st fret of this B string right here. And that's fine, they put that there, and then they lay the C chord down. I think it's not quite as easy but in the beginning, but if you take your ring finger and start with your ring finger for a C chord by putting it on the 3rd fret of this A string, the 2nd string down, it already puts your hand in the right positioning to get the rest of the chord. When you do your 1st finger, your hand could be way out here. I see it. People go, and it takes forever. If you do ring finger first, my fingers are already kind of forced to be nearby where they need to be. Like that. A G chord, you know, middle finger, boom, on the 3rd fret of this top string here. Let the others fall into place. Just like that, okay? These are little tips to try. Now, if you can do those really easily, then good for you. And then you can start working on the funky town on your right hand, you know, because that's going to be a whole nother beast. So we got to program our left hand to get the chord shapes so we can just get that over with and then start getting super funky with this kind of thing, you know. So anyway, Marty Schwartz here. Got a ton of great beginner lessons if you're interested at GuitarJamz.com. You can even try it out for 3 days for free, no strings attached. Love for you to come say hi. Appreciate the support, you guys, and we'll see you at the next lesson. Later!